South Africa. No one ever thought that this would be the catalyst for the fall of the establishment. South Africans today woke up and chose sovereignty over skin color. They chose opportunity over DNA. And they are now going door to door as a mob of South Africans, a diverse mob, physically removing illegal immigrants from their homes and sending them back to their true homes in the countries of their origin. The establishment is taking a hit today. The establishment is taking a hit today, and my strong South African brothers are sending them a message that I feel America needs to resonate. Don't come to where we are. Tell us how to do what we do better than you, and claim this is your home until you fix the place that you have your true allegiance to and make it equal or better to America, better than America, so we can have the same opportunities you enjoy over there, over here. South Africans aren't taking it anymore. And I think Americans need to take a play out of their playbook. We're watching ICE agents be attacked by citizens and non-citizens alike for simply trying to do their job. And I'm starting to think the problem is you can't create an agency to do the job that a country's citizens must do themselves. We have 3 amazing topics we're going to cover today. I hope you stay with me for every last one, because the first shots have been fired at the establishment, letting them know that we're not going to take it anymore. Socialism has died in Michigan as the Democratic Socialists and their Democrat collaborators panic after it has been revealed that the radically left senatorial candidate will not win the senatorial election. He won't win it. And in another hit to the establishment's narrative, the mainstream media fraudsters' narrative, Mitch McConnell, the old dog, has actually lived to fight another day as he releases photos as proof of life, verifying or validating the claims made by one of my favorite guys, Scott Jennings, and others, that he was alive and well. They don't like that. Stay with me, guys. Let's do our housekeeping. Stay with me for this entire broadcast. We are adding to this community in a major way. We're bringing everybody in, all races, colors, creeds. It doesn't matter. If you love America, you love your country, you love your fellow Americans, you love this way of life, come into this channel. This is the channel for you. I am Brandon Tucker. This is Defiant Brandon. Welcome back to Accountability. Let's get straight into it.
A warning from a South African to a refugee. A crowd is coming, and they're hunting for foreigners. The warning is heeded. The shop is closed just in time. As the small mob approaches.
It's a small crowd, but an intimidating one. They've got a very astute sense of the establishments that might be foreign owned. And then when they do see one, they go speak to the neighbors or the people near a place and tell them that you must warn them, you must tell the foreigners to leave. So there is this real door-to-door campaign happening here in Soweto, but also in areas across South Africa and across Johannesburg.
They're on a mission, drawing in neighbors and bystanders here in Soweto, but not without resistance.
Until the other group of
Peter Manete is an activist working to protect migrants in his community.
they've already taken decision that they will close the shops. It's hard to really 100% control everything, but at least when we are here, we know that they can't just do as they wish, because they know that we are against what is happening.
Thousands have been marching across South Africa, rallying against illegal immigration and calling for African nationals, undocumented and documented, to leave. With harassment and extrajudicial violence on the rise. People of all ages are joining these regular neighborhood protests to keep the foreigners on notice.
When will you stop? When will you say my job is done?
When all of them are gone, not 80% gone, when all of them are gone, then I'll say my job is done. Or unless, if I say the job is done is when I'm dead. That's when I say I'm done.
Their protest makes a stop here at their local police station to deliver a memorandum.
Other businesses found to be operating unlawfully.
They're appealing to the police to crack down on foreigners, the immigrants that they're offering to hand over.
How do you identify foreigners?
We stay with them. We know that they are not South Africans. Others, when they come, they will tell us they are here to visit our aunt. And then we find out from them that I am from Zim. I'm here to visit my aunt. Also find out now he has already spent over 7 years in our country.
Now, the whole world, people who have sense, they're going to understand and support the South Africans who want these people out of their country. But the beauty of what's going on in South Africa is it is 100% concrete proof that what is being done, this massive outcry from the citizens of countries all over to remove illegal immigrants from their country, unvetted, undocumented immigrants from their country, is not something that is rooted in racism or xenophobia. See, because when it happens in South Africa, that's black on black. That's not black on white or white on black or white on Mexican or black on Mexican or Mexican on Asian. That's black on black. And it really helps us identify the root of the issue. If we barely have enough, how can we share it with you? And do we make the world a better place if everyone who has ruined their country can just wake up one morning and decide, hey, you know what? I'm going to go and live and freeload off of a country where people made sacrifices and did the right thing in order to create a country that is prosperous, a country that is fruitful, a country that is peaceful, a country that is safe. Does that make the world better? Or does that just hand over the rest of the world to the lawless criminals, whether they be governments or individual citizens, and say everybody who doesn't want to deal with the consequences of their actions can just go to places where people were responsible and live there and take from them? See, you're really able to see it clearly in South Africa, whereas in a place like the United States of America, it's a little bit more convoluted because people can always throw race into the mix. You see ICE deporting people from America. It's not just Americans defending their country from lawless, savage invaders. It's, oh, these people are racist. Now you have to have a whole nother conversation about race and identity, as opposed to just being able to go in and get these people out the country based on the law. For some reason in the West, race and race relations and racial conversations seem to override or supersede the law when that's not the way it's supposed to be. So everyone's going to support these South Africans and what they're doing. And the more and more the more and more their governments collude with private businesses, private ownership to try to keep these illegal immigrants in the country, the more the world is going to stand behind the South African citizens who are basically fighting against fascism. And do you ever notice that it's the people who support these illegal immigrants who are always pointing the finger at others saying, oh, they're fascist? No, the fascist is the government official who colludes with the private business owner to allow undocumented illegal immigrants to flood into the country to undermine the efforts of the actual citizens of that country to be treated fairly, receive a livable wage, actually be able to have a day off, actually be able to earn enough money to take care of their family and put their kids through college. Illegal immigration undermines the rights and securities guaranteed to a society of lawful citizens by their constitution and by their government. Because you have a second class of citizen who is willing to accept the abuse that you refuse to take in the name of gaining some form of employment or securing some type of opportunity. What is the point of drawing up a constitution, which is basically a law? What is the point of writing up a law when you allow people to come in and break the law, which undermines the whole purpose of the law? You might as well not even waste your time if the law is only going to apply to the people who are dumb enough to follow it. And that's what's happening in South Africa, and that's what's happening in America. Only difference is the men of South Africa are standing up and doing something about it.
As John meets with the station commander, 4 men are brought in, 3 from Ethiopia and 1 man from Lesotho, under citizen's arrest that's unlawful under the Immigration Act. The crowd is pleased, but it's not enough. They want more and plead with the police to take action.
Policeman, please help us. So, okay, we've been working together, but don't violate, don't beat people, don't assault people. You give us information like the way you give us information, we're going to arrest the people.
Back on the streets, they search the shops and spread the word, demanding that everyone join their cause, in spite of the upset. Their marches ended and the coast is now clear. The shop warned to close is back in business.
For now, I don't want to go back to Ethiopia because there's still war in Ethiopia.
What made you come to South Africa? Why did you choose South Africa?
Because there's peace in South Africa.
Yeah, no, he's lying. He chose South Africa because he knew that South Africa was open for business and that their government wasn't going to enforce the law. Guys, these people aren't just stealing jobs. These people are opening whole businesses in South Africa and will literally not even hire a person who is a legal citizen of South Africa. And what's so bad about the situation in South Africa is this is probably going to eventually lead to a civil war because you have groups within South Africa of illegal immigrants who are now saying, we're not going to leave. And I bet you can't guess who it is. I bet you can't guess who the group of illegal immigrants is that are refusing to leave. Well, it's the group of immigrants that are committing fraud and abuse all over the country, all over the world. And I ain't talking about Nigerians. It's the Somalis. Now they are standing up in against the South Africans who are asking them to leave, saying we're not going to leave because even with you threatening us, we are still safer than we would be in our country that we basically ruined.
days after anti-immigrant groups took to the streets, demanding that undocumented foreigners leave South Africa. Business continues as usual for Somali business owners operating in Johannesburg's Mayfair suburb. Even though the businesses are not targeted on the June unofficial deadline, memories of the 2008 xenophobic attacks remain vivid.
There were a lot of uncertainty, a lot of tension within the community. We were given a deadline, not only the undocumented, but anyone who looked foreign to leave the country by 30th.
Over the years, several anti-immigrant groups have staged protests, urging the government to strictly enforce immigration laws. In May 2008, xenophobic attacks broke out in Alexandra, Johannesburg. The violence spread across the country, and 62 people, including South Africans, were killed. Thousands were displaced and injured, and 40,000 foreign nationals left, according to a Human Rights Watch report.
Well, then that was a success because 40,000 foreign nationals left. But when they talk about xenophobic attacks, they want you to get scared and they want you to say, oh, I won't participate in that because I don't want to be a part of xenophobia. Listen, xenophobic attacks are the fault of the government. I'm not even going to put that on the citizens of the country. And I see somebody put Indians because we're going to get around to them too. Xenophobic attacks are not the fault of the citizens. Xenophobic attacks are the fault of the government. Because when a man attacks someone from another country because he wants him out of his country because he's in his country illegally, he's not doing that because he doesn't like the person because of where they're from. He's doing that because they're taking an opportunity from him, his children, his wife, his brother, his uncle, his sister, his father, his mother, that would be available to them if that person was not there. But because his government has betrayed him and refuses to enforce the law, these governments are putting people over the law. In America, we're putting Hispanic immigrants, Haitian immigrants are being held accountable. But we are putting Hispanic immigrants above the law. Imagine people coming into your country illegally and they just get to say, fuck your laws. We ain't gonna listen to your law. We make our own law, and your government just turning a blind eye to it. The police could pull you over for a traffic stop. The police could pull you over for jaywalking. The police could pull you over for loitering. They can come take you to jail, the American citizen. But they can't see this guy who's an illegal immigrant walking down the street pushing a damn shopping cart full of corn and say, dude, show me your papers. Show me that you're supposed to be here. They're just refusing to enforce the law. They're enforcing the law in an unfair way against the citizens, but refusing to enforce the law against the people who are actually committing crimes. That's what's going on here. And in South Africa, it's no different. You see the police officer talking to the people, and he's like, oh, well, don't go beat people. Don't attack people. Tell us. We'll do this and do that. They're not going to do anything because they have been instructed not to enforce certain laws. As we have seen in America, the mayor, the president, the governor, they can tell law enforcement, hey, just don't enforce these laws right here to protect a specific population. So if xenophobic violence breaks out in South Africa again, I want you to understand that is not the fault of the citizens. That is the fault of the government who refuses to enforce the laws of the land that were written before these people were even born.
On April 11th, 2015, attacks on foreign nationals were reported in Durban townships before spreading to some parts of Johannesburg. In February 2017, mass protests were held in Pretoria against undocumented foreign nationals, accusing them of taking jobs and fueling crime. On March 25th, 2019, mobs targeted foreign truck drivers and businesses in Durban, leaving several people dead.
So when someone attacks a business or a truck, you think they're attacking that truck just because this person's from another country? No, They see those businesses and those trucks as opportunities that they aren't able to get because someone from another country is coming in, taking it from them. And if I can't go to your country and take opportunities from the people there, why do you get to come to my country and take opportunities from the people here, including me? It doesn't make sense. And then you get the people who come in the group, this guy, the great Mullah Clipper. Excuse me, bigot. What does that even mean? These people throw out these terms to shame you. But when you can't feed your family, is this bitch right here gonna come in and say, hey, bro, here's $150, here's $300, here's $1,000? They're gonna say, go pull yourself up by the bootstraps, you old bum. Stop begging, stop expecting people to give you money. Well, I wouldn't need to expect people to give me money. I wouldn't need to beg. I wouldn't, be struggling if I could walk outside and there were help wanted signs everywhere. But this is something that I believe is a foreshadowing of what's going to happen in the West. Because the poorer a country is, the shorter the fuse is of the citizens to tolerate people who come into the country and just pilfer. All they're doing is pilfering opportunity. They're stealing opportunity instead of creating their own opportunity. You have people who come into this country, right, who were a part of criminal organizations in their country. You have people who were breaking the law in their country. In America, you have people who are literally in prisons and mental institutions in their country. And then they're just released into the United States to do whatever they want to do. Some of them might get jobs. That's an opportunity taken from your kids. Others will just continue their criminal enterprise that they were participating in their country. And you, the American citizen, you get to be the victim of an irresponsible, illegal decision that your government and the people within it are making. Why do people keep putting up with this? I'm a bigot because I want the law enforced. The people of South Africa are bigots and xenophobes because they want the law enforced. Just think about that. If you want the law enforced in your country, the law that you've been forced to abide by for your entire life, if you want the law to apply to people who are illegal immigrants the same way the law applies to you and your family who are citizens, you are a racist, a xenophobe, and a bigot. You are someone who needs to be ostracized within your society. And what are these people doing? They're not creating anything. They're not innovating anything like Elon Musk. They're just they're just dipping their hand in the same pot that you created, that you're dipping your hand in. They're not making a new pot. They're not increasing the GDP of the country. All they're doing is take. And they give nothing. And then if things get bad in your country, say civil war breaks out and people are getting killed, you know what they're going to do? They're going to run back to their country then. These people are nothing but opportunistic freeloaders. You weaponizing terms like bigot and xenophobe in an effort to keep you from doing anything about their invasion of your country.
Since 2020, anti-migrant groups such as Operation Dudula and March and March have conducted illegal raids on foreign-owned shops and blocked foreigners from public hospitals and schools. Despite living in fear, Mohammed Ali, who runs a coffee shop and survived the 2008 xenophobic violence, says he will not leave South Africa for his home country where he lost two brothers.
We get many problems, but still us. We want to stay, to get to safe. Has never come, especially me, never come to get money. No, to our safe, my life. I come. My country is a big problem. That's why I come here. That's why I'm here.
Even though the latest protest ended without widespread violence, tension remains. And until the government addresses the socio-economic challenges facing the country, Ali and other migrants will continue to live between fear and hope. Brenda Zeda Radido, TRT World.
Why don't these people ever use the money that they're making in these new countries that they've invaded to create opportunity in their country? Why don't you? It's like the Haitians who were crying when they found out that they had to leave America. Why don't the Haitians use the $30+ billion that they've earned since 2010? Why didn't they use that to take over the politics in Haiti? Why didn't they use that money to run candidates? Why didn't they use that money to create opportunities for Haitians so they would say, you know what? We have something worth fighting for. That's how you know that someone's a freeloader. This guy right here who was in the video, he said that he was in the country since prior to 2008. Bro, it's been 20 years and you still can't go back to Somalia? Well, look at all the Somalians that the United States deported. Let me ask you a question. How are they doing? They're not dead. You're not hearing about a mass slaughter of Somalians who returned from the U.S. So this idea that we don't go back there because it's not safe, it's total BS. This idea we don't go back there because it's not safe is pure bull crap. They don't go there because it's more comfortable where they are. And they're going to stay there and steal from you as long as they possibly can. They're going to steal from you while giving nothing. These people don't build anything. Somebody, not to keep bringing up America, but bro, like I hear people say this, and this directly specifically at like South American migrants coming into America, right? Mexican, Central American, El Salvadorians, these people. Somebody says, there was a lady who was like, immigrants built this country. And then other people are like, yeah, immigrants make this country better, right? Immigrants make this country better, right? So the other day, I'm watching Kitchen Nightmares. I'm watching Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay, right? And they're in a city that's close to New York, and there is a restaurant called Fiesta Sunrise. And this guy, Vic, is a Mexican dude who basically frauded his wife and her daughter to get them to open him a restaurant, right? And the restaurant's failing roaches. It's terrible, right? So in the kitchen, the entire staff is Hispanic, right? Every last one of them is Hispanic. And so I can't even talk about this without laughing. So look, so Gordon Ramsay finds roaches. I'm talking about crawling all over the dishes, just nasty, right? And he's like trying to talk to these people. And he's getting so frustrated because he's like, guys, you didn't know there were roaches in here?
A warning from a
Guys,
South African
you didn't
to
know
a
that,
refugee.
Hold on. Guys, you didn't know that this was unsanitary? You didn't know that the food was spoiled? You didn't know that the sour cream was expired 6 months ago? Things like this. If you could have just saw, which you can't see, and I think I'm going to show you. If you could have just saw the looks on these dudes' faces, right? The looks on these people's faces when Gordon Ramsay was talking to them, it was like they were totally clueless. Either they were totally clueless that you can't serve people rotten chicken, or they were just playing dumb, like they didn't understand what Gordon Ramsay was saying, because they didn't feel that he had a right to hold them accountable. And that's what I think when I think about illegal immigrants. They're not here because they love you or they love your country. They're here because they could come, pilfer, make money, steal jobs from you, and no one can hold them accountable. No one can. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. No one can hold them accountable. They don't care about you. If they'll serve you food with roaches in it, if they will serve American people food with roaches in it, do you think that they really care about this country? It's to the point where just to allow them to keep these dirty ass businesses open, your city officials just stop doing health inspections. I haven't seen a health inspector in my city in my whole life. People in the comments, when is the last time you saw a health inspector when you were in a restaurant? You should run into one every now and then, as much as we eat out. You never see one. And I could go to certain restaurants and just look around the kitchen and look around behind the counter and see that they filthy. You will never see it because they suspend the law when it comes to these people. They suspend the law when it comes to these people. These people are supposed to be coming here to live up to our standards, right? They're supposed to be coming here to live up to our standards. But instead they're allowed to come here and drag us down to their standards. That's the worst part. Okay, so I want to play this clip. We might get hit because I'm playing Kitchen Nightmares, but I don't care. They put it on YouTube. If they didn't want me to play it, they shouldn't have put it on YouTube. I just want you guys to see this, how these dudes respond to Gordon Ramsay. And Gordon Ramsay is from another country. I want you guys to look at this. There was roaches in the food and you were still serving it to people. And you guys are dumb enough to believe that these people care about your country and they care about you. They're going to make your country look like their country. They don't give a damn about their country unless it's soccer season. So you know they really don't give a damn about your country. Only time they care about their country is when Mexico is in the World Cup. So they don't give a fuck about their own country and their family and their kids, right, to make it a better place. But you believe that these people care about your country, and then they'll feed you roaches. They'll feed you roaches, bro. And look at the look on these dudes' faces. So I'm not going to keep playing it, but I just want you to look at the face of these dudes.
The problems in the kitchen.
Look at these dudes, man. These are the people that are going to make America great. America, immigrants, bro, you's a liar. You a liar. You're telling me that someone who lets you eat roaches is going to make your country greater. No, American joint is better. Look, see, this is what I'm saying. He's acting like an American joint. Okay, go in the kitchen. Go to Red Lobster. Go in the kitchen. That's an American joint. Go to a soul food place. Go in the kitchen. You will not see roaches everywhere. But see, these are the people. The people who fight for these people to be in our country are people who are filthy, animalistic human beings. They grew up with their mama smoking a crack pipe. They grew up with their house not having no lights, no hot water, roaches running around. To them, this is normal. So when they see these people and see the low standards that they try to bring into America, they feel like they found a kindred spirit. They feel like they found somebody they could relate to. That's what it is. But if you were raised with any type of class and dignity, you would want these people gone immediately because they're not even trying to meet the American standard. They're coming in to lower the American standard down to what they think it should be. And it's working. Look at our sidewalk. Go downtown LA. If you've ever been to Tijuana, Go to Tijuana, go to Revolution Street, go to all those streets. Look how it look. And then go downtown Los Angeles and tell me if that don't look exactly like how Tijuana look. These people have reduced one of the greatest cities in America to the point where in many parts, it looks like a third world shithole. I'm not making that up. I'm not lying on these people. And every chance you get, if you get a chance to look at what they're doing, it looks something they lose their job. If you wanted to remain in this country or you cared about this country, I would see a little bit more urgency. As a matter of fact, you should never even let something get like that if you really wanted to stay. Because Fiesta Sunrise is a job where you could actually probably get a work visa to just come work. You are stealing a job from an American. Replace them with 5 white people in that kitchen. Replace them with 5 black folks, not 5 niggas now, 5 black folks in that kitchen. I bet you there wouldn't be no roaches in that kitchen. I bet you people wouldn't be trying to serve people expired food in that kitchen. See, this whole thing is a bunch of mediocre, loser-ass Americans trying to stick up for and defend a bunch of mediocre, loser-ass illegal immigrants who ain't bringing nothing to this country. It's just like Tucker Carlson said at Trump's New York rally, at the New York MAGA rally. He said, you on the left, you just have a bunch of unremarkable people trying to force you to say that there's something greater or better than what they really are. There's nothing impressive here. But someone's telling me that this person has more of an ability to make this country great than I do. This person has more of an ability to make this country great than my daughter does. I'm not buying it. I don't believe it. It's a lie from the pit of hell, and these dudes got to go. These dudes got to go. Unless you commit some heroic act or you know how to do something that another American don't know how to do, you gotta get the hell out. Unless you are a legal citizen in this country. You got a bunch of dudes who will feed American people roaches, dropping babies in this country, and thinking that that's how we gonna take this country into the future. If these people take over this country will be overrun by the cartel in 10 years. I promise you. These people will look. Oh, we hate these people. They don't like Israel, but they're gonna let a bunch of people from a country with a Jewish president flood the country and deteriorate the standards. The hypocrisy is unending. Let's look at another example, because this wasn't just the only example that Gordon had. He had several examples. They're doing like a grand reopening. They got the food together. It's starting to actually look like something. They cook the food. Ashes from the broiler fall down into the food. Understand that. Ashes from the broiler fall down into the food. They know the ashes are there. They know the ashes fell from the broiler. Why did they still pass that plate across the thing to Gordon Ramsay? Who's going to make America greater? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, and nobody said clean the broiler. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, nobody could buy no combat gel to get rid of the roaches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, actually. I didn't see that other guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people been in that kitchen. They've been making Mexican food their whole life, eating it too, and the business is failing. Don't add 7 because the manager is also probably an illegal immigrant. That's why they had to put the restaurant in the daughter's name. They said, oh, we need to use our credit. Of course, because y'all ain't got no damn credit. Yeah, that's disgusting. My wife from Italy. Exactly. If I get an Italian person from Italy to come into America and make food, I'm okay with that because I know Italian people have a standard of cleanliness. When I go to Africa, when I go to Kenya and I stay in Malindi, that is a town with a lot of Italian people. One of my favorite restaurants on earth right now is Bar, an Italian restaurant in Malindi. I also love Osteria on the beach in Malindi. Those people are in a developing country, but they don't have developing standards of cleanliness. They have first world standards of cleanliness, and they carry those standards to the developing country to provide an experience that I enjoy. These people take third world standards of cleanliness, bring them into a first world country, and look at you like you're crazy because you don't want to accept the bullshit that they throwing across the damn table at you, telling you to eat it. And the sad part is, 2 Americans could probably do a better job in that kitchen than all 7 of these illegal immigrants right here. Not even the dirtiest shit they was doing. The dirtiest stuff was in the beginning, bro. The food, the lady said, man, my chips are stale. Bro took the chips off the table, and the girl done touched all over the chips. He dumps the chips back into the big pot of chips in the back. Gordon Ramsay find all types of spoiled food there and was thinking like, we don't know what healthy mean. But I'm just saying that to make a point, guys. If you're bringing immigrants in like Elon Musk, I understand that. If you bring in immigrants who actually add something to the space, add something to the country, I'm not mad at that as long as they come in legally. But when you bring a bunch of people with just incredibly low standards, and now they're competing with Americans for jobs and opportunities, that's not helping anybody. That's not building your country up. When you bring in a bunch of Somalians who can't, they're illiterate, a lot of them can't read, they just dropping babies and opening up fraudulent daycares that y'all told us wasn't really fraudulent. They're not helping anybody. You're not winning. That's not empowering you. And when you defend these people, it just tells me that you have a very low IQ and you're just a glutton for punishment. That you don't understand the value of what you have. Therefore, you just don't give a fuck. That's why you cannot let a bunch of socialists who hate America have an impact or even a say in your immigration policy. They want to let the people come in to destroy America because they fulfill 2 goals. 1, destruction of America. 2, new slaves to become slaves under socialism. New slaves to become slaves under socialism. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Guys, that was our first topic. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you liked the way I covered that. Sorry, guys. Oh. I think we're still good. Okay, we're good. They didn't knock me off. They didn't drop me off. They didn't knock me off. I think I accidentally clicked myself out. Sorry, guys. But anyway, so that was the first topic. We're going to do another topic, and I hope you guys stay with me for this topic because it's also really good. we're going to talk about Michigan, a state that Donald Trump won in the 2024 election that many people thought was going to swing blue. Because it is a place where the socialist, radical leftist agenda is growing. It is also a place where there is a growing population of Muslim immigrants. And it makes total sense because one thing that radical Muslim populations need is a place where they can secure lots of welfare so they can take care of their multiple wives and their dozens of children that they have. You go to Michigan, you go to Dearborn, or some of these heavily Muslim populated areas, it's not uncommon to see one Muslim man with 5 wives. They all live in 5 separate houses. The houses are filled to the brim with children, and they're all collecting state benefits for each house individually. This is very common. If people were anyone from Michigan will tell you. So the radical element of Islam, they have made it a point to come to the West, and they've made it a point to try to take over the West because the West has the countries that are dumb enough to give this man plus his 5 wives a food stamp card. This man plus his 5 wives Section 8. And all they have to do is say, hey, we're poor and we don't have any money. He goes and works and opens up a liquor store or whatever. He has 5, 6 wives. They're traditional marriages, so there's no paperwork. And he gets to make the money and revenue from his store, his business that he owns, while at the same time collecting welfare through his wives, his multiple wives, just bleeding the damn city, bleeding the damn state dry. This is what they own. This is what they're doing, right? We good. I had to fix some stuff. But guys, thank you for staying with me. Please hit the like button. Please like the video. Please share the video. Let people know we're over here. Help us hit the algorithm. It really helps. It really helps. So not only are the socialist Muslims, the cultural Marxist Muslims in Michigan frauding the government through welfare, they now have numbers to where they are able to run candidates. So the socialists and the Muslim radical, they have become a coalition. They've become partners. It's a partnership now. The socialist gives them the welfare and freebies that they need to raise families and produce millions of children in your country that are citizens. And the Muslim gives the socialist the enemy to fight against Zionism that they need, right? They give them the information on Zionism and, oh, Israel is controlling America and all this that they need to keep making an excuse to justify their hatred for America and everything that America stands for. So they are a strange set of bedfellows, but they are bedfellows nonetheless. So now you have a Senate seat opening up in Michigan, and they really want to put this guy, Abdul El-Sayed, a radical socialist Muslim Democrat, in that Senate seat. But now, right, things are coming out about him that many Michiganders just cannot overlook to vote for him. And we're going to get into that right now.
He's going to be a great who's running for the Senate, and he'll be a great senator. And He's going to be a great senator. He was a great congressman. And then he left. He went on to very big things. He did well no matter where he was. And I think they took that away from you last time. I'll be honest with you, Mike. I really do. Don't like to get things going. I don't like to be controversial at all. But they rigged the election on you. Mine was too big to rig. You won. I'm telling you, you won. But you're going to do great this time. He's a great guy, actually. He should be an amazing senator. Thank you. Thank you for being here, Tim.
Boy. So we got to talk about a story that I have been following out in Michigan, the Senate race that seems like it's going to be an upset, right? The blue wave dreams of the Democrat Party is turning into a nightmare because they're about to lose some seats that they should otherwise win due to the fact that their candidates are way too far left, right? They're running open freaks and lunatics, communists, in states that are center left, moderate, or center right, states that, again, are part of what actually determines who wins a presidential election, right? And you can't win a presidential election running far left lunatics. You can't win these swing states, even center left states, running far left lunatics. As you guys see right here, you have the 2026 Michigan Senate polls, right? That feature Mike Rogers, who is going to be the Republican candidate, versus El Said, who is likely going to be the Democrat candidate. And as you can see, the RCP average, El Said is up only 0.5 points. 0.5 points. That's it. That's it. In a state that currently has two senators that are currently Democrats, right? A seat that Democrats should comfortably win in a midterm year that, again, has the incumbent party, the Republican Party, in power. And usually the party that's out of power does very well. Right now, Democrats aren't doing very well, especially in these Senate races, because they're running far left lunatics.
So I woke up this morning to bad news in a chat that I'm with, Abdul El Sayed volunteers. And, they've been canvassing and talking to Democratic voters who are now concerned that he can't win Michigan because.
Now, I want you to pay attention who the supporters of these people are. This lady is not Muslim. This lady is not young. She's not a college student. She looks like an older lady, probably retired. Her children are probably grown. And what do you think her motivations are for voting to destroy her own state? These people make these people feel important. The terrorists and the radicals make these old ladies feel alive again. They make them feel like they can be a part of something that's bigger than them. And for many people who grow up in middle America, many middle-aged white women, that's all that matters. They don't care. Have you guys heard the story of Jamie Kearney, the American lady who moved to Ireland? This happened 3 days ago. She moved to Ireland. She hooked up with one of these Muslim guys. She let him move into her apartment with her and her daughter. He killed her and hid her body under a duvet at a national park in Ireland. Then he fled from Ireland. He took a plane to Turkey. And then from Turkey, he fled from there back into the Middle East. And they say he could be in Jordan, Oman, or another country, and they can't find him. They looking for him everywhere. International law enforcement, Interpol, they looking for this dude everywhere. Can't find him. Beat her to death. Beat her to death because she didn't want to submit to Sharia law. But if you go to her TikTok, she's all over TikTok with him. Yeah, and you're a bigot if you don't like immigrants. And this is what it's like when you're with a Muslim man and an Arab man. And she's bragging. 43-year-old white woman look just like this lady. She's bragging about her relationship with this dude. And this dude slaughtered her like a lamb and buried her body under a duvet. And her daughter is the one who found her dead body. Is that crazy? Think about that while this lady talks and defends radical Islam and far left socialism, Marxism.
Because they are repeating the lies being pushed by Haley Stevens, specifically the United Democracy Fund, which is run by AIPAC. And they single-handedly have been creating the hit pieces. And Haley Stevens' campaign has been promoting it. And when I say that they donated over $40 million in attack ads and then ads to promote her, those ads are hitting now. They're getting ready to launch another $4 million worth of ads next week, and people are watching them, and it's working. And when you compare it to a grassroots candidate funded by us, Abdul can go buy ads, but he has to pay pretty much top dollar, because like anything, when you go in with Haley's money, with millions of dollars, you get a discount on the ads. You get to buy that much more airtime and ad space. And it's working. People are believing the lies. When Haley stood up on that debate stage and spread the lie, sowed doubt, because Abdul applied for an extension to file his taxes, the same extension that Haley has applied for and received every single year she's been in office. And now Fox News and CNN and everybody is running around saying he's hiding something. His wife owns a rental valued at $100,000 in India, and they've got to wait to get the paperwork, the tax required documents from the country of India to get this all finalized. Thus, he filed the extension, but it doesn't matter. Those are the ads that they're running, and people are falling for it. Haley doesn't come up with these ideas. Abdul said that she couldn't form 2 sentences on her own. That's because AIPAC and the likes are telling her, when people bash the establishment, compare it to using the N-word. Do you think she came up with that? We've only got 3 weeks left, and they are going to hit the ad space hard.
So these people are basically coping. They're trying to say El Abdul Saeed is losing, or he's going to lose because attack ads, right? They never even consider that maybe the majority of Michiganders just don't support the policies that he's fighting for. First one, Medicare for all. What the hell why do they keep talking about that? I just showed you yesterday on a video with James Carville and another far left Democrat. Even they were saying that this country cannot afford Medicare for all. Even they're saying it. Moderate Democrats will tell you that this country cannot afford Medicare for all. In just 5 years of Medicare for all, you would spend 10 times more than you spent on every war in this country, in the history of this country, including the Revolutionary War, all the way to the World War II, all the way to the Vietnam War, Desert Storm, Iraqi freedom, all that, even the war on terrorism. Anybody who is logical thinking will tell you this country cannot afford universal health care. But the candidates will keep saying that. Many, many, many Americans do not want single-payer health care because they want to keep the health care they got. But these people will keep saying Medicare for all because they know some dummy is going to vote for them because they say that. What next? He wants to abolish ICE. Of course he does. If there's no one to come through and evict the illegals, they can just come here and drop anchor babies like they popping popcorn. Well, we're here. No one's here to kick us out. They won't make us leave so we could drop 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 30 freaking kids in America to the point where we're able to create whole cities and enclaves that believe in Sharia law, just like they did in UK. I've already told you, they get in these areas, one man, 5, 6, 7 wives, all living on welfare, food stamps, Section 8, because they have traditional marriage, so there's no paperwork. Each one of these women, 4, 5, 6, 7 kids. Count it up. You do the math. That's one man with 35, 40 kids. I remember watching this documentary about these people in the Middle East. The guy being interviewed asked the interviewer, how many kids you have? Bro said 3 kids. The dude started laughing. He said, okay, how many kids you got? The dude said he has 70 children. One man, 70 children. And you wonder why these people marrying their cousins. This is what they want to do. They want to flood your population with their offspring, because when they become adults, they will be indoctrinated with Islamic values. They will believe in Sharia law and all this stuff. And they will be Marxists as well to keep the money flowing. But yeah, so they have a strategy. So of course they want to get rid of ICE. Of course they want Medicare for all. So they won't have to pay no medical bills for all them damn kids and the messed up babies that's going to come out from marrying their own cousins. And then the last one, campaign financing reforms. They want to eliminate the super PACs. Of course they do, because they have their own super PAC called Islam. It's not really a super PAC, but when they make a call for donations and everything else, they mobilize. The super PACs are actually able to out fundraise them. So that's why they want to get rid of the super PACs. So when it comes to the money in politics, they will easily out fund everybody because they're voting and donating based on religious ideology. You think Karen here has thought about it that deep? This lady don't know the first thing about Islam, the Middle East, Arabs, Indians, none of that. She just wants to feel like she's a part of something, and that's good enough for her.
When people bash the establishment, compare it to using the N-word. Do you think she came up with that? We've only got 3 weeks left, and they are going to hit the ad space hard.
With that, the
capitalism, I just believe
from it.
I am not somebody who is a socialist. I believe in capitalism. I just believe that capitalism has to be regulated.
And with that, the DSA Bernie Bros have officially lost all of their credibility. And
so he just said he's a capitalist, but believes that capitalism needs to be regulated. So he's not a socialist, but the socialists are going to vote for him because they believe that he just planned. He going to introduce socialism under the guise of being a capitalist. Which one is it? Which one is it, El Said? You know he's a capitalist. His wife has rental properties all over the world. And one of the criticisms of him is they were hiding that income that they're generating from around the world. And now people want to see the income on a tax return, and they don't have it because they're not claiming taxes on it because they were hiding the income to make people believe that they weren't a bunch of capitalistic Muslims, which they are.
politics. Unfortunately, I think it's too late for Dr. Abdul El-Sayed to distance himself from the DSA, from the Bernie Bros. He stood by Graham Plattner alongside them way, way too long, and we all know this and we all saw it. The Michigan primary is August 4th. He does not have enough time to make a convincing heel turn and to fully distance himself from the years-long digital footprint that he has established in support of Graham Plattner and in support of democratic socialist policies. He has also been held up and propped up by many DSA prominent figures and commentators. And you can already see in the comments on that video, people turning on him, like his supporters. It's bad. But yeah, I'm actually really excited about this. I don't think it's a loss for progress when people who stood by an alleged rapist with Nazi tits lose.
That heel turn.
So she's pointing because she's a socialist too, but these people are turning on their own, right? Because now the minute you say you're not a socialist, you're a capitalist. Now they try to tear you apart for supporting the candidates that they vote for, because all the radical socialists were supporting Graham Plattner. Even when the first rape allegations came out, they said, we don't care if he committed rape. We'll hold our nose and still vote for him. Now that another rape allegation has come out from a woman who's a Democrat, they have to believe her. And now they're going after Abdul El Sayed for supporting Graham Plattner. When I tell you, I am with James Carville on this one. He is the OG grandpa Democrat. I am with James Carville on this one. He said these democratic socialists do not care about building. All they care about is tearing things down. And of course they have to tear things down because they have to make a way for socialism. They have to destroy hey guys, are my mic levels okay? Give me a 1 if the mic is good. Give me a 2 if it's weird. They have to destroy everything they can. They have to destroy your entire way of life so that it can make socialism look more appealing. That's what this is all about. They're not here to build anything up or help anybody. They need to make America as bad as possible so that people will get so depressed and sick that they will be willing to accept socialism. Nobody who lives in a land of opportunity is like, yeah, man, I want to grow the government and let them control what I do. Nobody's going to do that. No one's ever going to do that. So you have to make America unlivable. You have to destroy America. You have to stop the money or redirect the money to the rich, the elites, and the government. So people say, okay, we surrender. Go ahead. Do whatever you want to us. That's what they want. But James Carville said that, and he's a Democrat. So if their own people are saying this, right? Why don't you believe them? Why do people keep trying to do mental gymnastics and say, oh, well, yeah, he is a radical socialist, but it'll be different this time. Bro, it's never going to be different. It's never going to be different. These people will always be the same. And I want to play this clip for you. I think it's here, 1946. Okay, right here. Wait, let me see. Is it? No, that's not it. Hold on. I'm trying to. This one. Okay, I think I got it. Was this Thursday's episode? Hold on. Bear with me. I'm just trying to find this. Oh, here it goes. I found it. I think it's at 19. All right, I found it, guys. I found it. Y'all still here. All right, look at this. Y'all know James Carville. You know who this guy is. He's no stranger. He's a hardcore Democrat. Listen to what he says about the quote unquote Democrat socialists. You guys think it's just me. It's not just me saying this. Even people within the Democrat Party are admitting finally that these people are crazy.
And this is
well, in the age of Trump, it might have been.
But whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
But the Democratic Party, and I never had a problem being in the same coalition with AOC or Jai Paul, but for that matter, Ilhan Omar. I mean, they're probably what I would have considered, out there in the same coalition I am. But this new crop that's coming in, this is entirely different. This is not the same thing. This is some kind of a, and I think people might be voting for it and hadn't thought about it. I don't know what they're doing, but I got to tell you, I don't see this doing anything. Going back that Colorado one is Denver, so it's pretty urban Democratic district, but that's not the case here. That this is the new trend, and it's a very disturbing trend. And it's I think people are just looking for a quick solution to just do anything that they can to stop the pain they're going through. And I got news for you. There are no quick solutions. I go back to, I don't know why we don't embrace the Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Moreno, bust the cap on Social Security. That's dream of a lifetime sitting right in front of us. But somehow or another, no one wants to pick up on it.
Well, there is an agenda to embrace that is, is far from tepid. It may seem tepid to that woman in Colorado or that woman in Manhattan, but it's not tepid. And when people talk about, look, I hear all these Democratic socialists say the overwhelming majority of Americans are for Medicare for all. Whoops.
Right here. Medicare for all. Democrats, normal Democrats saying this. Listen to what he says, because this is how they get you. Medicare for all. You have to agree with that. No, you don't. But that's what they're using to bait in the suckers. The people who don't do research. Don't you want free healthcare for everybody? Well, sure, I guess that's not a bad idea. But it's bigger than that.
The overwhelming majority of Americans are for Medicare for all. Well, if you say Medicare for all, yeah. Elizabeth Warren got savaged in 2019. It almost was the beginning of the end of her campaign. Because basically people say, I don't want to lose my health insurance. And you ought to build on the Affordable Health Care Act. You ought to do away with those Medicaid cuts. And maybe you build to have a public option. Maybe you build towards Medicare for all someday. But we ain't ready for it yet. These people are not into building. Okay? They understand that. They're into anger. We have let the fucking Al Hunts and James Carvilles and Obamas and Clintons and Pelosi's and the whole goddamn freak show just get run over. And meanwhile, wealth inequality just skyrockets, opportunity plummets. And we got to stand up and we got to do something, goddamn it.
Yeah, so James Carville admits it to you. So if you were looking at Democrat socialism and, it's a good idea. No, he's telling you. These people are not trying to build anything. These people are not producing any agenda to build anything. They're telling you, get mad, get angry. The government has screwed you over. You need to get back at the government. This is all they're telling you. And when you say how, they say, make the rich pay their fair share. Okay, what are you going to build once they pay their fair share? Well, we're going to do Medicare for all. Guys, you could take all the money from every billionaire in America. You wouldn't even be able to fund Medicare for all for 2 years. Listen to me. Listen to me. If you took all the money from all the billionaires in America right now, not tax, every penny, sold all their stock off, you would not be able to pay for universal health care for 2 years. I'm telling you that right now. Let's look at AI. How much are all the billionaires and trillionaires in America worth? Okay, so all the billionaires and trillionaires in America are worth $8.4 trillion. All the millionaires and billionaires in America are worth $8.4 trillion. I just looked it up. See, right here. Every billionaire and trillionaire in America is worth $8.4 trillion. Now, we can ask another question to show you how stupid these people are. How much would it cost to fund universal health care for all Americans, including illegals, for 5 years? So you take all their money. We done took all the billionaires' money and made them broke, right? We done took all their stuff and sold it, right? 5 years. Estimates for funding universal health care in the United States vary significantly based on policy design, but most analysis place the 10-year cost between $25 trillion and $34 trillion, implying an average annual cost, which is yearly, of approximately $3.5 trillion to $6.5 trillion. So you could take all the money from all the billionaires in America today, you would fund universal health care for a year and a half. Let that sit in. Let that sink into your brain. They're talking about we're going to fund universal health care by just taking a piece of what they earn, or even up to half of what they make, right? You could take every penny they had. You could take every penny they have, and you would only be able to fund universal health care for a year and a half. This is why Democrats who think logically are like, yo, that's not possible right now. People don't want to give up the health care they have. And this idea about universal health care being funded by billionaires is preposterous. And once they take all the billionaires' money, guess who money they're going to come for next? They're going to come for your money. Because they're going to say, well, we used all that. And it's gone in a year. So now the middle class and the class under the middle class and the funny thing is the class under the middle class will vote to take money from the middle class the same way the middle class voted to take money away from the billionaires. See what I'm saying? We know this is bullshit. We know universal health care is a scam, but there are still people who are dumb enough to keep falling for it. Universal health care, vote for me. Okay, we know we're never going to get it, but here's my vote.
He's already basically trying to walk away from being a, flat out socialist, right? A mass socialist, even though he clearly is, right? He can't walk away from some of the things that he said in the past to him.
police. Now you've tweeted, including about defunding the police. Now you've said recently you never called for defunding the police, but our K-File team here in CNN found interviews in the past where you did repeatedly back in 2020, including in the aftermath of George Floyd's killing. I want you to listen to your comments here.
I believe that we do need to defund the police insofar as defunding the police is disinvesting in the means of incarcerating someone or killing them on the streets. What if we were to invest in social services? What if we were to invest in public schools? What if we were to invest in public libraries? What would the world look like there? And I think that has to be the way we go. And that means...
Hey, me and Greg laughed at the same point. Why do these fools keep building all these libraries? Most people are reading stuff online or ordering stuff off Amazon. Now, I understand that libraries are a good resource, but I think we have enough libraries. Why do these people keep building libraries? And then you go in the library and there's no one there. There's no one there. Why do they keep building them? It is beyond me. We need to build more libraries. Okay, we get it. Libraries are cool. Libraries are important. Why do you keep building them? That's the only question I'm asking. Am I the only one who wonders that?
Both investing more in these services, and it also means investing less in police.
Yo, I gotta give a shout out to CNN for this picture right here. Bro, he like he about to cry, right? They did him dirty. They did him real dirty with this picture, bro. They did him super dirty with this picture.
In public services. Interesting about that comment is I go in as far as defining what I mean by that. Do you disagree with investing in libraries and public services and social services?
Here we go
you
with the
fixate on the word
libraries.
defund, but what I'm talking about is war material that we made too much of during the war in Iraq. And then because we had too much of it, we had to find somewhere to sell it. So we sold it to a whole bunch of local police departments. I believe in investing in retention and retirement for law enforcement. I've done work with law enforcement during my time in Wayne County.
But won't that issue of
is a
defunding the
nuanced
police, won't
question.
that become an electability issue in November?
Let me finish my answer. Let me finish my answer.
He goes back to libraries. The kids can't even fucking read, but they steady buying building libraries. Obama just completed a library in Chicago where the average kid in Chicago can't even read at a third grade level. He went $500 million over budget on the library. And it's not doing a damn thing to solve or handle the high illiteracy rate in that city.
Answer money. I actually don't think it is. I think the vast majority of people agree that they want to get home safely every night. I think the vast majority of law enforcement agree that they want to get home safely every night. I think the way that we have thought about law enforcement is we answer every social problem with somebody with a gun. And you talk to folks in law enforcement with whom I've worked very closely, they'll tell you they don't want to go on those runs where they know that somebody's in a mental crisis. So maybe instead of investing in war material for PDs, we invest in a safe retirement for them. And then instead of sending a guy with a gun, we actually send a trained mental health professional.
AKA social workers, right?
Same tired ass talking points. These same tired ass policies are failing all over the world. These same talking points are literally failing. I am in LA. Go to LA. They're already doing that, trying to send social workers to deal with crazy people. Those social workers are getting straight up brutalized. They're quitting in a day, only going out once. I'm done with this. But the same tired policies, things have been done the way they're done for a long time. And there's a reason for that. You're not going to reinvent the wheel, bro, in 5 minutes in a room with a bunch of college students.
What I'm talking about, that's what I defined. And I think that's exactly what people want. Now, if you want to keep talking about one particular word that was in vogue that I tried to define at the time, sure. But I think if we're having a serious conversation about public safety, you'll see that my perspective is in keeping with exactly what most people who are rational about this question are talking about and what they want. I want law enforcement to be able to get home safely, and I want people to be safe in their communities. And the way we do that is to make sure that we have competent law enforcement and to make sure that we are not making war on our streets and that we have the social services that people need to stay healthy and safe.
So I do want to ask you, because Haley Stevens, your opponent, has been going after you about a separate issue for not releasing your tax returns or financial disclosures before the primary. She's been campaigning as the lone non-millionaire in the race. Are you concerned that by releasing those financial records, you'll show you to be considerably wealthier than Stevens while you're courting working class voters?
And claiming to be a socialist, right? Yeah, all these socialists are rich. Let's be honest, they're all rich.
All rich.
They're all rich. They love getting rich, telling people that they're fighting for the poor, right?
Look, these people make millions out of the country that they don't claim on taxes because most of them are dual citizens, right? So they can come into America, lie, and pretend like they're all about this socialist fantasy crap because they're going to be able to profit and operate like the true capitalists that they are in the other country that they're from, while you stupidly castrate your economy because you want to be a do-gooder and I feel sorry for the homeless crackhead. You're going to castrate your economy while they thrive and take your money out of your country back to their country and make millions and millions of dollars. This is as clear as day what they're trying to do. It's as clear as day what they're trying to do. But people just want to be ignorant. People want to pretend like it ain't what it is.
What she's desperately trying to change the picture on is the fact that you have $40 million of outside spending brought to you by our local utility that forced people to sleep in the dark for 5 days after a minor storm, that she's taking money from APAC that wants to send our money abroad, that she's taking money from big tech and the health insurance industry. You want to talk about financial transparency? I'm happy to do that all day. She took a trip with her mom to Portugal. I don't know why her mom had to go to Portugal, but it's from a group called Center Forward. I don't know what they talked about. I think the people in the state of Michigan deserve to know. What I will tell you is that I filed jointly with my wife. Haley Stevens files alone. What you're comparing is apples to oranges. And I understand that if you really want to turn the page on how your campaign is funded, you might try and pick something like this as a distraction. But we're going to clear the record this week. And I'm happy to turn the page to a conversation about why her and her mom decided to go to Portugal on some special interest dime, what they learned about, and what that means they traded for the vote that she's going to give in the U.S. Senate if she gets elected.
And very quickly, do you think that she would lose, Haley Stevens, in November if she becomes the nominee?
I think she's going to have a really, really hard time. Mike Rogers barely lost to Alyssa Slotkin. My question to her is, what are you even running on? What is it that you're after, aside from the fact that you have $40 million that can come in and pretend that somehow President Obama endorsed you in this race, even though he hasn't?
Yeah, but I would ask him what he's running on. Medicare for all. It's never happening. Not no time soon. Defund the police. We already saw where that ends up. Abolish ICE. Yeah, so more of your Muslim brothers could come in the country unvetted. Come on, guys. The liberals have no policies. They have no policies. So they throw pie in the sky bull crap at people and hope that they're dumb enough to fall for it. Idealistic elderly white women, viciously violent Muslim men with 5 wives, polygamists, who need the public services to keep flowing freely, and ignorant black folks who either not going to vote or vote blue no matter who. What is he running on?
I can say a lot of bad things about your opponent, take low blows, without actually having to say what you want to do. If you're bought off by the same companies that buy him off, at some point, we all lose.
All right. Michigan Senate candidate Dr. Abdul.
Yeah, I found it hilarious how he's talking about her losing to Mike Rogers when he's literally on the verge of losing to Mike Rogers, right? I mean, he's only up 0.5, right? It's basically a statistically tied race. Okay, again, in a state that is center left, right? Again, this state is on the verge of flipping red with this Senate seat.
I'm calling it now. I think Mike Rogers is going to win. Mike Rogers is a strong candidate. And all you need to ask these people is your universal health care. When are you going to introduce it? Abolish ICE. They just gave ICE $70 billion for the next 3 years of operation, and Democrats voted on that bill in favor of it. So, what exactly are you going to deliver to the Democrat voter now? From where I'm sitting, because I ain't a Democrat, but from where I'm sitting, it's looking like Democrats are voting to just wait for a bunch of stuff that's never going to happen. While illegal immigrants are allowed to flood their country and flood their communities and steal their resources. That's the long game. Let's see if we can gain power from these idiots long enough to replace them. And some people are just so dumb, they're thrilled to death about this. It's beyond me. I'll say that. It is beyond me. But for whatever reason, these people think that this is like some type of win. I don't know how, but for them, this is a win. You got to be pretty dumb to be in America this day and age, and be talking about some damn socialism. You better get to that money as quick as you can. Ain't nobody about to give you nothing, even if socialism does come about. All right, we have reached our last story. Before we cover our last story, tricky Mitch McConnell. I thought that bastard was dead. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought this bastard was dead. But he's still alive. Mitch is whatever Mitch is eating, I need to eat some of it, because bro is coming back from the dead like it ain't no thing. Before we get into this final story, please do me a favor. Please hit that like button. Please share the content. Also, I ask this every time. We don't do it every time, but every day is another chance. Please help us reach our super chat goal, which is $5 super chats. $5 super chats, $5 or more, whichever you prefer, so you can see me every day and we can get these quality streams every single day until we have 100,000 subscribers. The channel has been growing lately. I'm doing some things with the algorithm. I'm playing with the algorithm a little bit. Our views are a little low right now, but that's okay, because I know how to get them right back to 24,000, 18,000. But I really want to bring my old audience back, and I need to do things a certain way to bring them in. So everything is good. Everything is working. But let's get into what's going on with tricky Mitch McConnell, because he damn sure tricked everybody, because everybody thought this fool was dead. I didn't think he was dead, but the only reason I didn't think he was dead is because Scott Jennings said he was alive. And I don't know Scott Jennings to be a liar. I like to think he's one of the more trustworthy political pundits, but you never know. Even Greg Foreman was like going at Scott Jennings, said, "Come on, Scott, don't throw away your credibility." But something in my mind was like, Scott ain't about to throw his reputation away over Mitch McConnell.
Dr. Siegel, we're going to turn now to another senator. Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell just released a photo and a statement about his recent health struggles, saying he did not have a heart attack or stroke, but fell down and was briefly unconscious before being taken to the hospital. McConnell also said he is not ready to return to the Senate just yet. Listen, we've seen the health struggles that he's had. Anything about this, I think it was a lack of information over several days, if not a week, that a lot of folks were a conspiracy started. Hey, is this guy still alive? That kind of thing. Anything about this seem...
I don't see how it was sketchy at the time. He just said, no, I talked to him at length today for about 20 minutes. What was sketchy about that? He was actually telling the truth.
Out of the ordinary to you with the other health problems that we've seen him have?
One thing, and I'll tell you about it in a second, but first, Joey, I want to point to his great courage, which of course you have as well. The idea that he fights the illness and fights to stay engaged and in the Senate is really inspiring. What I think happened here is another fall. He's had multiple falls. He has post-polio syndrome. He overcame polio. That's the explanation for the falls. But the part here that I read a little differently is becoming unconscious. That usually means you hit your head.
Yeah.
So he's saying he doesn't have a concussion, but when you hit your head, usually you would get a concussion.
Yeah.
And then you can get pneumonia in the hospital the way he said he did. You can get pneumonia just from the bad bacteria that you have in the hospital.
Yeah, Mark.
I mean, all that to me checks out. Yes, you can get secondary infections, all types of stuff when you when you go into a hospital. He's old, his immune system is probably a bit compromised as it is. He fell. He hit his head, got knocked out. I mean, it happens every day. My thing is this. Why did the mainstream media run with this narrative that this guy was dead? You have no confirmation, but you're just going to say it because they thought that if Mitch is gone, they have a chance to throw a Democrat in his seat. Now, I think Mitch McConnell's way too old to be in the Senate. I think it's time for him to just bow out gracefully. If he would have died, I wouldn't have really cared about it because I don't really like Mitch McConnell. People think that just because you're a Republican or a conservative, you have to like these people. I don't like Mitch McConnell. I didn't even cover when Lindsey Graham died because I don't like him either. I don't like warmongers, and I don't like people who put their own interests in front of the best interests of our country. And I think Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell are two people who continuously did that. It's time for them to go. And yeah, they do need to introduce term limits to the Senate and the House, just like they have for the presidency. But it is what it is. But I'm glad. I mean, I'm glad that Mitch McConnell is alive and well, simply because he wants to have a life. He wants to live, but he's not somebody who I'm going to lose any sleep over. Just a typical old guard, old establishment guy who is going to play old school politics no matter what there is to gain or lose.
Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Riley here. As Joey said, we've seen video of Senator McConnell, whether it's freezing up, not being able to speak, kind of being stunned right there in his tracks. What are some of the symptoms that could linger following this fall and his stay in the hospital? And do you think he'll be able to return with full functioning capacity?
See, that's another really good point. I want everyone to know that I think rehab is a very good thing. I worked for many years at our rehab center at NYU, and they may keep him there longer than you expect, and that's why he's been there so long, because we don't want more falls. They can actually train him and get him to use more assistance so falls become much less likely. The freezing episode you're talking about, I don't have a good explanation for that. There's been a lot of talk or speculation about Parkinson's and things like that. I don't know anything other than that he's overcome polio, post-polio syndrome, falls, and I would think rehab is really important to keep him from falling again. That's what we really want to avoid here.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.
All right, guys, that's it. That's our show for today. I got to head off to a volleyball game right now on daddy duty. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I appreciate everything you do for me in this channel. Guys, join the Discord. The link to the Discord is in the comments. If you want to throw out topics, things you believe might be good to talk about, just shoot a recommendation in the Discord and I'll look at it. I'll consider it, and you'll help me because that makes it easier for me because I can't read your minds and know what you want to watch. I do my best, but some days I just miss the mark because things that are interesting to me might not be interesting to you. Share this page, hype the video, like the video so that it can go into the algorithm. I appreciate everything you do for this channel. Till tomorrow, good night and good luck.